tips, and then we'll get into questions that I found over the years are really important for discussing Facebook with government. And the first is really find and speak with an authentic voice. The Marine Corps does an excellent job of this. Other agencies do a good job, but it's important to think about what your voice is and how you want to really make sure that you're having consistency. So some agencies may put the initials of the person who's posting it, because obviously, it's not necessarily the generic U.S. Navy that's posting it. There's an individual who's posting it. Some folks, do it in a more personal style. Whatever it may be, sit down, think about what the voice you want to be broadcasting to your citizens when they get this information. 2, think about delivering your message. Think about how your content appears on Facebook. When people connect with your Facebook page, they click the like button. Most of what they're going to consume from you is going to be in their newsfeed. And I want you to think about the click not as the goal, but as the bonus. There is a government agency that will remain nameless this was one of the top posts you can see there, was what they were posting. And it's fine. You've got to click to learn more information. You've got to kind of read through, and maybe I'll give. The CDC, I think, has done a wonderful job of thinking about if this is our opportunity to deliver the message, and we are only going to have your attention for a couple of seconds. Can we pack all of the information we want to get in there into those first sentences? So even if I don't click the link to learn more, I'm still getting the information they want to deliver. They treat the click not as the goal, but as the bonus. So if someone clicks through, that's like icing on the cake, but the message has already been delivered. So you can see, you can learn how to take an action. They've got a nice graphic. They've got a headline. They've summarized it well. Think about how this is going to appear to other people who are subscribing to you, and really focus on making sure you can get that information out there, even if they only read the first 2 sentences. 3, be timely and informative. Obviously, you want to push things as they're important to you, and as your agency launches something new, or as there's a new program. But you can see that the things that will spark true discussion and engagement on Facebook, which is again so important, are things that are timely and relevant. So obviously, FEMA during earthquake season was posting tips about how to prepare for earthquakes. The city and county of San Francisco posted a tribute to Steve Jobs after he passed away. Food and Drug Administration was talking a little bit about the cantaloupe recall, and the U.S. Army posted the image of the order repealing "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," and sparked a great conversation on their Facebook page. Timely and topical. Easy keys to success. 4, and this is just something I want to knock out of the park because we get this all the time. You can't turn off comments on a Facebook page. There are plenty of places on the internet where you can have a one-way conversation. Facebook is not one of those places. What you can do is obviously use our full tools to control the conversation and make sure it stays appropriate. So you can remove any comments you find inappropriate. You can delete repeatedly troublesome commenters, things like that. One of the things we always encourage government agencies to do, or government officials, is have a comments policy. This is something that outlines the activity you're going to allow on your Facebook page and lets you draw a clear line between what you're going to allow and not allow. So my favorite example of this is Senator Claire McCaskill's Facebook page, and if any of you follow her on social media, she's very authentic. It says, in order to follow federal law, this page has 2 rules for comments. Please don't say anything obscene, and please don't talk about elections. For more information, click here. Thanks. Simple, to the point. What a way for her to control the page. This is the U.S. Army's Facebook page. Wonderful Facebook page. The U.S. Army obviously has some supporters out there and detractors as well. This is their comments policy. It is, I think at last count, 9 paragraphs long. It was certainly reviewed by General Counsel's office. It actually thanks you if you make it all the way to the bottom of the comments policy, which I think is to this day maybe one of the best things I've seen. But it's great, and I think a comments policy serves 2 purposes for government. The first is the obvious one. Behavior, swearing, something inappropriate, delete it. If anyone complains or the press asks, you can say simply, hey, we have a comments policy. This is a clear violation of it. Delete it. You may want to take a screenshot of it if there's something you're worried about. I think it's actually much more important as you bring your organizations into this Facebook world, into this social media world, for internal consensus. So that someone doesn't come on your Facebook page and say, boy, I really don't like program X. Normally that doesn't seem like a huge deal. Sure, I'm pretty indifferent to program X, but program X program director walks in and says, that guy said something mean about my program, you have to take it down right now. If you've already agreed on a comments policy, you can say, hey, Steve, honestly, we looked at this. It's not against our terms here. We're going to let it up. If you haven't agreed to this internally ahead of time, you're in for a series of awkward emails explaining why the mean comment has to stay up. So, this isn't just about your external-facing things. It's also how do we manage a process internally within inside our agency and our organization. And I'm sure if you are people who are pioneering these things within your agencies, these kind of things are something that you pioneer as well and that battles you've fought. 5, multimedia. This is obvious, and I'm sure if you looked at your insights, pictures and videos do very well. be timely, be topical. But one thing I really want to stress, as government organizations, you're probably sitting in a wealth of archived material. Not everything that you put on Facebook has to be new. It just may be new to Facebook. So the National Archives obviously is in a position, that's very lucky. They sit on an archive of things. But what they'll do is they'll post historic photos. So this is a picture on the anniversary of Katrina from the day that Katrina hit. And so, they've gone into the archive. The U.S. Navy has done this very well in the historic photos. Think about not just new material, but what are interesting things you've done in the past that you want to resurface potentially to a new audience. Topical photos as well. So the State Department, I love this, they were uploading photos in real time from the recent UN General Assembly. So you could see some of the things that were going on there. Very cool. The General Accountability Office has a special tab and a video welcoming you to their Facebook page when you land there. So it's a way of kind of quick, easy customization and something that makes people feel welcome. But as much as photos and videos get attention, I want you to understand that words can have power too. And I think sometimes in the flash of things, this gets lost. This is the Facebook page for the U.S. Embassy Damascus in Syria. And this is a note from Ambassador Robert Ford discussing some of the things that he's been seeing in Syria and some of the things that the Syrian government is less than thrilled he's been talking about. This is a note on a Facebook page. This is a New York Times article about it. This is an Odyssey Free Press article about it. This is Diplomacy 2.0, as my friend Alec Ross likes to call it. Words can have power too, particularly when they come from governments. Keep that in mind. Not everything has to be a picture. Not everything has to be a video. Words can have power too, and you work for important people and important agencies that have that. Number 7, I heard some questions about this before, insights on Facebook. We've actually relaunched these for pages, very new and exciting. If you go to facebook.com/insights, you're able to see them for your page or add them to your domain. If you click that little button on the right, you can even download a very in-depth PDF guide that'll answer all the questions that I'm sure I won't be able to answer. But we've really put a new emphasis here, not just on your total likes, but the people who are talking about this, your friends of fans reach, your weekly total reach. So really trying to give you the tools to really drill down. I heard 2 questions, or I heard 1 question, and there's another I always get, which is 1, what is the optimal number of times to post on a Facebook page? And the answer is, I have no idea because every Facebook page is different. But with tools like our insights, you can determine what is the optimal kind of times to post and things like that for your page. So for instance, if you run a page whose audience is primarily in the West Coast, posting at 9 a.m. East Coast time might not make the best sense, but it may make sense for you to really understand where your audience is. We present information to you demographically and geographically about your audience on Facebook in an anonymous aggregated form, so you can really get a sense of where your audience is there. And so as you're doing this, as you're tracking this, really use this to help define what you do. And it's really important that you test things and get a sense of what works and doesn't work. Every audience on a page is different. Number 8, Facebook is more than just Facebook.com. We've got a ton of social plugins, what we call them, which are the like buttons you've seen around the internet, the ability to like your page from not just Facebook.com. The CFPB has done a wonderful job of integrating these, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, on their new site, and it's really exciting to see. Obviously, it's great to be able to engage with Facebook off of Facebook as well, and one of the powerful things about that is if you're running a Facebook page, you're probably sending traffic to your website, but if you've optimized your website for Facebook, you can send, I go to CFPB, I hit the like button, that goes back to my friends and then spreads from there. So it's really this great loop. Facebook is also mobile, so our mobile site on any site that has a browser, we support a wide variety of smart and less than smartphones. Our iPhone app actually was just updated. We now have an iPad app, Android, all sorts of great stuff. It's also things that can be integrated into applications as well. So if you're building mobile apps, the ability to share and connect to Facebook is a huge portion of that. It's also something that lives on applications. So the city of San Francisco has a Facebook application on their Facebook page that allows them to do 311 service requests, which is a great way to bring city services, customer service into a place where people are. Number 9, it is October, and how many of you know it's National Cybersecurity Awareness Month? Anyone? That's great. Please use different passwords on different websites. If I leave you with one thing, I get a lot of government agencies that say, Adam, we're just very uncomfortable, even though we know that it's not public, to link a personal account with a professional page, even though that's not public. What we want to do is use the same username and password on every single one of our social media sites for ease. And I kind of weep a little bit, and I tell them to call their CIO and explain that to them again. Use different passwords on different sites. Use different passwords on different sites. You do never want to be called into your secretary's office to explain why your laziness and 30 seconds of saving time got all of your social media accounts hacked, okay? So use different passwords on different sites. Thus ends your public service announcement. But Facebook provides a wide variety of tools to help you secure your accounts. And so I would just say, If you go to your Facebook profile and you click the upper right menu, there's something called account settings and there's a security tab. We have a bunch of great features that we'd like you to turn on. We have something called secure browsing, which is HTTPS. We have this great thing called login notifications, which will send you an email or a text message every time your account is accessed if it's from a device we don't recognize. We have something called login approvals, which if you turn on, you cannot access your account from an unrecognized device until we text you a code that you then have to input. So there's all sorts of wonderful things that you can do related to security that we would encourage you in National Cybersecurity Awareness Month to take advantage of. Finally, our Facebook security page recently passed more than 5 million fans, facebook.com/security. Wonderful place to get information about security on Facebook. 10, just running through a quick list of government issues. I think I heard most of you were feds, but we do have special terms for state and local governments that you can find if you are worried about that. 2, some of you will ask about security. Some of you may or may not have access to Facebook from your government networks. I would ask you and tell your CIO to Google DTM 09026. This is a directive type memo that was signed by Deputy Secretary of Defense William Lynn in 2009, which mandates access to internet-like capabilities, including Facebook and other social media sites, from the Department of Defense's unclassified network. So the Department of Defense has mandated that these sites need to be accessible from their unclassified networks. If it's good enough for them, one should probably ask, is your federal agency also one that should have access to Facebook? 3, there's probably a lawyer or two in this room. Love lawyers, work with them to death, not a lawyer. A lot of what I hear about concerns on Facebook and the internet for government is, it is a liability. It is a risk. Has anyone here ever heard that from someone in their agency? I'm sure you have. Everything you do as a government employee is technically a liability or a risk. Literally every action you take. Tell your general counsel or your lawyer when asked it, put that on the scale of risk and liability. Is this one of the million things every agency does every day that potentially could be liability, or is this really a showstopper? Really push back on that and say, let's really define the scope of the problem here and let's find solutions, because the answer is you want to get to yes, not necessarily just take no at face value. 4, we get a lot of FOIA and archiving questions. Facebook has made available through our platform the ability to archive a page if you want to build the technology. I haven't found a lot of agencies that have gone out and done that. There are 2 great services that provide both free and paid versions of archiving, some of which is FOIA compliant. One is called Backupify, and I know they're going through the apps.gov process. The other is called NextPoint. So if those of you who have FOIA concerns, other things like that, take a look at Backupify. They built a really great tool there. 5, interagency cooperation. I am not the expert on government and Facebook. I may be kind of the one at Facebook, but the experts on government and Facebook are in this room. They're in your agencies. They're the ones doing the work every day. They're the ones who are going to have the greatest understanding of the challenges you face and solutions to overcome them, whether they're bureaucratic, whether they're legal, whatever they may be. Really look around you and really try and connect with the people who are going through similar challenges you are. The Federal Webmasters Council is a great example of folks who are working to connect folks within the agency process. But the people who are really going to understand your problems and give you the best solutions aren't going to be people at Facebook. They're going to be other people within agencies and departments who fought the same battles you have and understand the best ways to do things. And so as you're going through these things, you're not alone. You're not the only agency that's struggling with these things. Some of these things may have even been solved by other folks. And so really encourage you to connect and rely on each other for this advice, because it's such an important and powerful thing. A couple of resources that I always want to point out to people at the end of the day: facebook.com/government. This is the wonderful page we run where we talk about government on Facebook. And so we highlight examples. If your agency is doing something cool and we notice, or you want to let us know, we'll put something up about it. Facebook.com/Congress highlights what members of Congress are doing. Facebook.com/Facebook pages is our page where we talk about new updates to Facebook pages. Our help section is just a wonderful, beautiful thing that'll answer most of your questions related to Facebook.